chosen one, before the sun had fully risen, before a single bird had dared to sing its morning hymn. Heaven already knew your name. The moment your eyelids fluttered open, something eternal moved. You may not have felt it, but the very act of you waking up sent ripples through the unseen. Heaven awakened by your breath. You are not forgotten. You are not one among millions. You are the one God looked upon this morning and said, "There they are, the one who refused to quit, the one who carries light." You brought joy to his heart the moment you opened your eyes, because your survival itself is praise. Every inhale was a declaration that darkness did not win. Listen, chosen one. The world may rush past this morning without reverence, but heaven paused for you. Angels looked upon your rising and remembered the times you nearly gave up. They saw your nights of silence, the tears no one saw, the moments you whispered, "God, if you're real, help me." Heaven remembered, and today, heaven rejoiced. Do not underestimate what your presence means. When you rise, the spiritual realm adjusts. Shadows lose territory. The plans of darkness are interrupted. Your very breath this morning was an act of defiance against despair. You brought delight to the heart of your Maker simply by continuing. You were never meant to blend in. You are set apart, consecrated, marked by divine intent. Every sunrise is heaven's reminder that you still carry purpose. You may feel ordinary as you make your coffee. Prepare for the day. Scroll through your feed, but to heaven. This moment is sacred. You are still here, and that is worship. So listen carefully now. This message is not random. This is divine timing. You are hearing these words because God has chosen this precise moment to remind you you make him glad. Not because you are perfect, but because you are his. He saw you rise this morning and smiled. The same God who painted the sky looked upon you with joy and said, "I'm not done with you yet." And as the dawn unfolded, the Spirit whispered a reminder preserved through time. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. You didn't earn this day. It was gifted to you. You were trusted with it. Every moment of it is laced with divine potential. Heaven waits to see what you will do with this light. Will you carry it? Will you let it shine? You have been given another chance to bring joy to your Father's heart. Not through grandeur, not through perfection, but through presence, by simply choosing to live this day with faith. Heaven watches, and heaven rejoices. Now, take a breath. Feel it. That heartbeat within you is evidence of divine investment. The same God who sculpted galaxies listens when you speak. The Creator of all things leans close when you whisper his name. When you exhale gratitude, angels move. When you speak life, the atmosphere shifts. Beloved chosen one, today is not just another day. It is your opportunity to mirror heaven, to forgive, to bless, to endure, to speak kindness even when misunderstood. Every act of love, every moment of obedience, every silent prayer, they are all notes in heaven's song of your life. The enemy wanted you to wake up defeated, to believe that your yesterday defines you. But heaven knows your truth. You were born to rise. The storms you faced did not break you, they trained you. Every disappointment shaped endurance. Every tear watered the soil of your calling. That's why heaven rejoices today. You have proven that faith still beats within you. God delights in your persistence. He finds joy in your choosing Him again. Even in weakness, your yes carries weight. When you smile through pain, you reflect His victory. When you choose gratitude, you remind hell that joy still reigns. When you forgive, you restore the harmony heaven designed from the beginning. So today, walk as one who brings joy to the throne room. Let the world feel your peace, hear your laughter, sense your hope. You are God's living testimony that love triumphs. Chosen one. If this word has touched your spirit, take a moment, don't scroll past. Let heaven know you've received it. Show your alignment by acting in faith. Like, share, or comment to echo this truth across the earth. And if you have not yet done so, subscribe to stay connected to the flow of anointing that heaven keeps pouring. You are not alone in this calling. There is a family of chosen souls awakening across the world, each one rising, each one bringing joy to the heart of God. Today, you joined them once more. Comment 777 below as a prophetic act, declaring that you rise again with divine purpose, that your morning has meaning, that heaven saw you and rejoiced. Chosen one. As the morning stretched its light across the earth, you moved quietly through your routine, unaware that heaven's gaze followed every step. You didn't see the eyes of eternity fixed upon you, yet they never looked away, while others rushed through their moments, distracted and hurried. Heaven lingered on you. The Creator Himself watched the way you rose, the way you breathed, the way your spirit kept faith alive. There are no small moments in the kingdom. Nothing is hidden from the one who made you. Every sigh, every act of restraint, every whispered prayer under your breath, it all matters. You may not realize it, but God watches not to condemn, but to delight. His observation is not the cold surveillance of judgment, but the tender gaze of love. This morning, when you thought no one noticed your patience, heaven recorded it. When you held your tongue instead of lashing out, heaven smiled. When you offered kindness even though your heart felt weary, light rippled across realms unseen. You are being watched not by a world waiting for your mistakes, but by a Father celebrating your victories, even the ones that no one else knows about. You may have convinced yourself that your quiet obedience goes unseen, but that is not truth. God does not miss a thing. He is not distracted. He does not scroll past your efforts. He lingers on your perseverance like an artist admiring a masterpiece still in progress. You are the canvas upon which His mercy paints daily. And though the world may never applaud you, heaven already has. You are the sermon heaven listens to. You are the sound of faith lived out in ordinary motion. Each time you choose gentleness over anger, heaven records a victory. Each time you refuse to let bitterness root itself in your heart, the heavens echo with silent applause. Beloved, there are eyes on you far greater than human eyes. Divine vision sees not only what you do, but why you do it. He reads intention like poetry. When your motives are pure but misunderstood, He still writes them down as worship. When your heart aches with confusion, yet you remain faithful, heaven calls it strength. Sometimes you wonder if your quiet faithfulness even counts. You think that maybe you should be doing something louder, something grander, something the world would notice. But heaven's economy is different. It is not the stage that moves God's heart. It is the unseen faith, the steadfast love when no one claps, the endurance when no one cheers. You are living proof that unseen obedience shakes eternity. This is the mystery of divine attention. God sees the moments you believe are invisible. He sees when you stop to help, even when no one thanks you. He sees the times you lower your pride, the times you bite back harsh words, the nights you wipe your own tears and whisper, "I still trust you." These are not lost moments, they are treasures in heaven's vault. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 3, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Do you understand? Chosen one, his eyes are not searching to accuse you, they are protecting, guiding, preserving. Even when you stumble, he sees the sincerity of your effort. Even when you fall, he witnesses the strength it takes to rise again. His vision is not selective, his love does not blink. He watches over you the way a shepherd watches his flock through the darkest night. That is why you have survived what others did not. It wasn't coincidence, it was care. God saw the arrows aimed at you before they struck, and he redirected them. He saw the betrayals that could have broken you, and he turned them into lessons instead of wounds. You thought you escaped by luck. Heaven knows you were carried by mercy. Every morning you rise is proof that divine eyes never closed on you. You are seen, not in fragments, but in full. God does not see you for who you pretend to be, but for who he designed you to become. His watchfulness is your assurance. His attention is your safety. So when you walk into this day, do not think for a moment that you go unnoticed. Heaven watches your steps with pride. You are living evidence that faith can dwell in fragile flesh. Your resilience is a reflection of his faithfulness. You are part of a greater vision. The same eyes that saw David in the fields, Esther in the palace, and Elijah in despair, those same eyes see you now. The divine gaze that once watched over generations has not shifted away from you. You are in his line of sight, not as an afterthought, but as a priority. Chosen one. Let that truth rest deep within your heart. You are not walking through random moments. Every step you take is known. Every choice you make is recorded. You are seen by love, not by judgment. You are measured by grace, not by failure. Chosen one. You often assume that the things you've done in secret are forgotten, swallowed by silence. But nothing righteous ever disappears. Heaven keeps record of the unseen sacrifices, the times you gave without recognition, forgave without apology, endured without witness. The world might miss it, but God does not. There were moments when you held your breath through pain and still whispered, "Thank you." Times when you stayed kind, even when others turned cruel. You carried burdens that would have crushed another, yet you chose grace. These are not small gestures in heaven's eyes, they are sacred offerings. Each silent surrender is like incense unseen on earth, but fragrant in eternity. You thought your tears dissolved into the ground, but they were gathered. Every sigh, every lonely night where you prayed in half words, every good deed done with trembling hands, heaven wrote it down. Nothing escapes divine memory. Every time you resisted darkness, it echoed through the corridors of eternity. You may have thought no one cared, but angels watched in awe at how you kept faith alive through fire. There is a mystery in your hidden pain. The things you lost were not wasted. The love you gave without return, the patience you practiced without praise, all of it built strength within you. Heaven saw the way you refused to let bitterness claim your heart. You may not realize it, but that quiet endurance was worship. When you chose obedience over comfort, you honored the God who sees in secret. The Spirit spoke long ago through the words recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 4. Your Father who sees in secret will reward you. This is the promise that sustains you. God sees what others overlook. He notices what others dismiss. He measures not the size of your deeds, but the sincerity of your heart. When you love without applause, He smiles. When you pray without audience, He listens. When you give in silence, He multiplies the unseen. You've wondered, does it matter anymore? The answer is yes, infinitely yes. Every hidden act of goodness sends ripples that reach farther than you can imagine. Heaven's economy never loses value. What you sow in secret becomes fruit in eternity. You are planting in invisible soil, but the harvest will be visible in time. Chosen one, you must understand that heaven counts differently. Down here, the loudest voices get attention, but up there, it's the quiet faithfulness that stirs celebration. Heaven watches when no one else does. The smallest act done in love outweighs the grandest performance done for show. That is why you are precious in God's sight, because you choose righteousness without reward. There are moments when heaven leans close, when angels whisper among themselves, "Look, they are still standing." That is you. That is the one who endures storms with humility, who continues to trust, who refuses to let go of hope. Heaven rejoices not at your perfection, but at your persistence. And yes, there will come a day when every unseen act will shine. Every unnoticed kindness will be revealed. The Father who saw you kneel in private will honor you in His light. You may not receive applause now, but the eternal recognition will come. Keep doing good, even when it feels invisible, for it is written into the eternal story of light. So, when you give today, give quietly. When you serve, do it for heaven's smile. You are not building your reputation, you are building eternity. You are a secret builder of heaven's joy. A quiet soldier in a war of light. The hidden sacrifices you make are not wasted, they are sacred seeds in the soil of divine remembrance. The world rewards the loud, but God crowns the faithful. Let that truth free you. You no longer need validation from people who cannot see the depths of your calling. Heaven validates you already. Every act of love is written in light. Every tear of surrender becomes a diamond in His sight. Beloved, this is your invitation to stay faithful in the unseen. Keep your heart soft. Keep your spirit humble. Keep doing what is right, even when no one claps. You are shaping eternity through choices made in silence. Now, as a prophetic sign of agreement, leave a declaration below. Type these simple words, "He sees me." Let it be your public act of faith, your gentle rebellion against doubt. When you write it, you affirm what heaven already knows, that your life is not overlooked, that your sacrifices are known, that your story is sacred, because yes, He does see you not as forgotten, not as invisible, but as beloved. Every quiet moment of surrender has been witnessed, recorded, and treasured. You, chosen one, are living proof that what is hidden in love will one day shine in glory. Chosen one. There was a moment not long ago when you could have chosen bitterness. You could have answered insult with insult, pain with revenge, silence with cruelty. The fire was there. The anger was justified. And yet you chose something different. You took the narrow road. You chose kindness. Heaven saw it, that invisible moment of decision when your heart wanted justice but your spirit whispered mercy. In that instant, something shifted in the unseen. The air around you changed. Where resentment could have rooted, love bloomed instead. The kingdom rejoiced. Not because you were weak, but because you carried divine strength, the kind that refuses to return evil for evil. You must understand the magnitude of that choice. When you forgave instead of fought, you participated in divine warfare. Darkness thrives on retaliation, but you starved it with love. You broke a pattern that generations before you may have failed to break. What you did quietly, heaven celebrated loudly. There is great power in restraint. The world tells you to match the energy of those who hurt you, but heaven tells you to rise above it. When you chose to bless instead of curse, you mirrored the heart of God Himself. You became a living reflection of grace, and grace is never wasted. It is written in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 32, "Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you." This verse is not mere instruction, it is revelation. To forgive is to resemble your Maker. When you choose kindness, you are walking in divine likeness. Each act of mercy draws you nearer to the character of Christ. And heaven takes notice every time your heart chooses peace when chaos tempts you otherwise. Chosen one. Mercy is your power. The world mistakes it for weakness, but in heaven's language, mercy is warfare. Every time you resist hatred, the darkness loses territory. Every time you extend forgiveness, chains fall, both theirs and yours. You are not excusing wrongs, you are asserting freedom. You are declaring, "What was meant to poison me will not own me." Do you realize how rare that is? Many speak of love until they are tested by betrayal. Many preach forgiveness until they are pierced by injustice. But you lived it. You chose to release what could have ruined you. That is divine maturity. That is spiritual authority in motion. Heaven does not overlook that kind of decision. The moment you said within your heart, "I will not hate," heaven leaned closer. Your act of forgiveness became incense before God's throne. You may have felt the ache, the shaking, the tears, but heaven saw light bursting from you. And something else happened too. That person you forgave may never know what you did in the spirit. But forgiveness always travels farther than emotion. It releases blessing into your future. It opens doors that bitterness would have sealed. Mercy is a seed, and you, chosen one, just planted eternity's harvest. This is why heaven trusts you with pain, not because you deserve suffering, but because you know what to do with it. You turn wounds into worship. You transform rejection into intercession. You meet darkness with light. And you change the story. You are a testimony in motion, not of perfection, but of redemption. The one who hurt you may never apologize, but you are free nonetheless. The apology you thought you needed was replaced by God's peace. And that peace is proof that heaven favors you. You have outgrown vengeance. You have become a vessel of grace. And though the memory of the pain may still visit you, it no longer controls you. Forgiveness did not erase the past, it redeemed it. What once felt like loss has become a lesson, a sacred marking of growth. Every scar you carry now glows with purpose. Heaven delights in watching you rise beyond bitterness. Every act of love you choose builds something eternal. When you forgive, you participate in divine restoration. You are rebuilding what hatred destroyed. You are speaking life where death once whispered. Do not underestimate how much joy you bring to God when you walk in love. He does not measure your worth by your perfection, but by your willingness to keep choosing mercy. Again and again. Every time you do, you prove that grace wins, and grace always wins. Chosen one. No matter the betrayal, no matter the wound, no matter the loss, love still triumphs. You have proven that darkness cannot corrupt a heart anchored in light. You may not hear applause today, but heaven's applause has already sounded. You brought joy to God's heart again when you chose kindness. You may not have realized it, but your decision was worship, and worship is what moves heaven most. Chosen one. There are moments when your name is not spoken on earth, but it is whispered in heaven. When the world forgets, heaven remembers. The angels, those radiant servants of the Most High, know your name. They have seen the nights you spent praying through tears, the mornings you rose while still aching, the days you walked by faith when your strength was gone. They know because they have been sent to stand beside you. You are never alone, not for a breath, not for a heartbeat. While others only see your outer life, heaven sees your unseen battles. When you felt surrounded by emptiness, angels were encamped around you. They guarded you when you didn't even know you were in danger. You have been protected from what you never even knew was coming. Every chosen one lives under the watch of heaven's messengers. They walk unseen through the rooms you enter, through the valleys you cross, through the storms that would have crushed another. You have felt that strange peace in chaos, that unexplainable calm that was not coincidence. That was divine presence standing beside you. It was written long ago in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 14. Are they not all ministering spirits sent out to serve for the sake of those who are to inherit salvation? Those ministering spirits have surrounded you more times than you can count. When you drove home, exhausted, and didn't know how you made it safely, they were there. When you woke in the middle of the night sensing peace in the dark, they were there. When your heart suddenly steadied after breaking, they were the quiet reinforcement from heaven's army. Chosen one. You must understand you are part of a divine network that never sleeps. God's messengers move at His command, and His command centers on you. Heaven assigns help according to need, and you have been marked for divine protection. Your name is known in realms unseen. When you cry, heaven listens. When you rejoice, heaven joins you. The angels celebrate your endurance because it testifies to God's victory. They are drawn to faith, and you have given them reason to sing. Every time you choose hope, heaven hears another song. Every time you forgive, light expands its reach. Your life has become a melody that angels harmonize with. You have walked through places where others lost faith, but you kept going. You survived what was meant to silence you. You continued when quitting felt easier. That endurance carries fragrance in the spirit realm, a scent of victory. the perfume of perseverance. Heaven recognizes it immediately. You are the aroma of faith rising to the throne. And perhaps you wonder, why me? Why does heaven watch me so closely? It is because you are part of a larger plan, one that reaches beyond your lifetime. Your faith creates ripple effects you may never see. Every step you take in obedience strengthens someone else's courage. Every word of truth you speak becomes a spark for another soul lost in the dark. Heaven invests in those who ignite light. And that's why you are watched, guarded, remembered. You are heaven's messenger, disguised in human form. Where you go, light follows. You are not just protected by angels, you walk alongside them in purpose. You are part of their mission. And when you move in love, they move with you. So, as you read this, take a moment to honor what heaven is doing through your life. You are not small, not forgotten, not random. You are divine strategy wrapped in skin. The very breath you breathe carries weight in eternity. Chosen one. If this message speaks to something deep within you, if you can sense that you are being reminded of your unseen covering, then let this be your moment of gratitude. Whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for the angels that have guarded your steps." Whisper it with sincerity, because every thankful heart opens new doors of protection and blessing. And while you're here, pause before you go. Acts of acknowledgement are powerful. When you share truth, you help another soul remember theirs. When you like what heaven is saying, you are aligning with the word that guards your life. When you subscribe to stay connected, you're not joining a trend, you're choosing to remain within a flow of divine encouragement that keeps your spirit strong. This is not about numbers or platforms. This is about unity, heaven and earth agreeing that the chosen ones will rise together. Every time one of us shares the light, darkness loses a little more ground. So, take a quiet moment now. Lift your heart. Give thanks for the unseen guardians around you. Let gratitude become your worship. You are accompanied, protected, and remembered. Heaven knows your name, and the angels still whisper it. Chosen one. This week has not been easy. You've walked through storms that others couldn't see, carrying battles behind your smile. You've kept faith while your heart trembled, still choosing to show up, still choosing to believe. You think those small victories go unnoticed, but heaven has been watching closely. Every tear, every prayer, every breath of perseverance, none of it was wasted. The truth is, your struggle was sacred. God never turned away from it. Every trial you faced this week became a melody before his throne, the sound of endurance, the song of the faithful. You have been singing a spiritual hymn through your persistence. It is not the kind of music heard by ears, but by heaven's heart. You see, in the realm of the divine, effort is worship. Every time you pushed through weariness, you were saying, "I still trust you." Every time you refused to quit, you were declaring, "Your plan is still good." The angels recorded those declarations. They rose as incense, as testimony that faith still lives on the earth and it lives in you. Beloved, your pain has not been punishment, it's been preparation. The fire that came to destroy you was used instead to refine you. What once felt like breaking was really reshaping. God has been forming endurance inside of you, not to torment you, but to make you unshakable. The storms you endured this week will become strength for the seasons ahead. According to what was written in the letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. That is heaven's reminder to you. You are closer to your season of harvest than you realize. The sowing is painful. The waiting feels long. But the reaping will come. God has not forgotten the seeds you've planted, the prayers, the service, the forgiveness, the faith you held when nothing made sense. You are about to see fruit from unseen faithfulness. Heaven counts every act of endurance as a spiritual triumph. When you chose patience over panic, heaven recorded it. When you lifted your eyes in exhaustion and whispered, I still trust you, it became a declaration in the spirit realm. You are stronger than you know, because God Himself has been strengthening you in silence. This week, you might have felt unnoticed. You may have thought, no one sees how hard this is, but heaven saw it all. The moment you held back tears and chose gratitude anyway. Light filled the room. When you blessed instead of blamed, angels rejoiced. The spiritual world moves every time you choose righteousness over resentment. Do not underestimate what your consistency means to God. Faith that lasts through exhaustion is more powerful than miracles that happen in comfort. You have shown heaven what resilience looks like, and heaven honors it. You are being shaped for something mighty. Chosen one. There is a reason the enemy has fought you so fiercely. He knows what's being built inside you. He knows the kind of fire that's forming, the kind that cannot be quenched by disappointment. You have become dangerous to darkness because you keep standing back up. You are proof that grace works. There are rewards written with your name, stored for the appointed time. You may not see them yet, but heaven's timing is perfect. God will never let faithful labor go unrewarded. The same hands that shaped you will bless you. The same eyes that saw your effort will reveal your harvest. And when it comes, when the breakthrough unfolds, you will understand why it took this long. You'll see that the struggle wasn't random. It was divine training. You were being stretched so your capacity could match your calling. Every sleepless night, every lonely moment, every tear shed was counted and converted into strength. Heaven smiles over you today. God looks at your endurance and sees victory, not failure. You are not behind, you are right on time. The enemy tried to exhaust you because he cannot stop you. Fatigue is a sign that you are close to breakthrough. The pressure you feel is heaven preparing release. So now, let this truth sink deep into your spirit. Your struggle has not been wasted. Every ounce of it will yield fruit. Every silent prayer will produce a visible answer. Every moment of perseverance has written your name deeper into the heart of heaven. Chosen one. This is your moment of agreement. Heaven has already acknowledged your endurance. Now you must acknowledge it too. Leave a prophetic mark that says, I will not give up. Comment 888 below as a sign of renewal, because 8 is the number of new beginnings. Let it declare that you are stepping into a new season, that your struggle has produced strength, that you are ready to reap what you've sown. Type it as an act of faith, not for others to see, but for heaven to recognize. When you do, you align yourself with divine promise. You tell the heavens, I am still standing, and I believe my harvest is near. You have endured well. Chosen one, heaven has seen it, and the reward is already on its way. Chosen one, last night The shadows came again. You felt it, the heaviness that pressed on your chest, the doubt that whispered at the edges of your mind, the familiar chill that seemed to crawl through your thoughts. It was subtle, but real. You sensed something unseen trying to drain your hope, to pull you into despair. Yet here you are again this morning, awake, breathing, still believing. What tried to defeat you has failed once more. The darkness does not attack what it already owns. It comes only for the ones carrying light. That's why the battle has felt so personal, because it is. You are a vessel of something sacred, and every time you choose faith, the enemy loses ground. Last night, when you said, "I will rest in peace," heaven fortified your walls. Angels surrounded you as you slept. Even while your body lay still, your spirit was guarded. The forces that oppose you know what you carry. They see the seal upon your life, the divine mark that declares you belong to God. They remember the moment heaven claimed you, and they tremble each time you rise. What tried to enter your room in the night could not cross the threshold, because your name is written in light. This is why you must not fear the dark. It cannot rule what is already redeemed. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. Therefore, no shadow can consume you. The night may whisper, but it cannot claim. You are covered by covenant. The word of truth echoes through the ages, from the second letter to the Thessalonians. Chapter 3, verse 3. The Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and protect you from the evil one. That is not a distant promise, it is your present reality. The Lord has already stood between you and the attack. His faithfulness is a shield that never sleeps. Even when you feel vulnerable, you are wrapped in divine defense. The unseen protection around you is stronger than the fear within you. Chosen one, you survived something spiritual last night. You may think it was just restlessness, or heaviness, or bad dreams, but in truth, your soul was being tested. The forces of darkness wanted to weary you into silence, to make you question your worth, to convince you that your prayers were empty. But heaven intervened. The Spirit hovered over you, whispering peace where fear tried to settle. You are still standing because mercy stood guard. You are alive because faithfulness held its ground. The attack failed not because you fought perfectly, but because God fought for you. When you whispered his name, the atmosphere changed. That whisper was a sword in the spirit. This is the mystery of divine warfare. Your greatest victories often happen while you sleep. The Lord defends you in silence. While you rest, he works. While you dream, he fortifies. The moment you wake, the darkness already knows it has lost. You may not realize how powerful your obedience is. Every morning you rise after a night of heaviness. You declare to hell that light still reigns. Each time you breathe and choose faith again, you remind the enemy that he cannot win. You are a walking declaration of divine victory. Do not think lightly of this protection. It was purchased with blood, sealed with promise, and renewed each day by grace. You are surrounded by an invisible army, and your peace is proof of their presence. The enemy can send waves, but he cannot sink a vessel carried by divine hands. There will be nights ahead that feel heavy again. That is the nature of warfare. But now you know what is true. Darkness is a liar, and fear is a fraud. Every time you sense the weight of the unseen, remember that heaven is nearer still. The very presence that guards your spirit never withdraws. Chosen one. Let your heart rest in this truth. No weapon formed against you can prosper. No whisper of darkness can define you. You are sealed, protected, and preserved for divine purpose. The hand that formed the stars also forms a hedge around you. You are not fighting for victory, you are standing from it. The Lord has seen every attack and answered it before it reached you. You have already been shielded from dangers you never perceived. Heaven's intervention is constant. Even when you cannot feel it, the battle is real. But the victory is already written. So when the night returns, do not fear it. Speak peace into it. Declare light over it. Stand knowing that you are not alone. You walk beneath divine covering, guarded by promises that cannot fail. And when morning comes again, remember that your survival is not random, it is proof. Proof that God is faithful. Proof that darkness cannot destroy light. Proof that the chosen ones cannot be touched without heaven's permission. You are protected. Beloved, the unseen may rage, but you belong to the one who commands it to be still. The night may try again, but it will fail again because the Lord is faithful, and his faithfulness never sleeps. Chosen one. There are victories that do not sound like thunder. Some do not shake the earth or split the sky. They happen in silence, in the quiet decision to keep moving forward, in the gentle persistence to hope again after heartbreak. When you took another step this morning, heaven erupted not in loud applause, but in quiet joy. Heaven's hidden applause. You may never hear it with your ears, but the sound is real. It hums beneath the rhythm of your heartbeat. It echoes in the unseen realm. Every time you choose faith over fear, endurance over escape, light over despair, heaven celebrates in ways that creation itself can barely contain. You have no idea how much joy you bring to your Father when you simply keep going. There is a celebration that happens not when you arrive, but when you refuse to stop. The angels rejoice every time you get back up, every time you shake off the dust, every time you decide that the story isn't finished yet. That unseen endurance, that quiet strength, is what makes you extraordinary. Do you understand how powerful you are when you keep walking through the valley? Your steps may be slow, your heart may ache, but your persistence declares a deeper truth that hope still lives. And heaven hears that declaration. It sounds like worship. Every moment you continue, even when the way forward is fogged by uncertainty, you are demonstrating the heart of God. You were made in his image, and endurance is his nature. He endured rejection, pain, misunderstanding, the weight of the world, and still he loved. When you persist, you reflect that same love. There are angels assigned to record endurance. They do not write down how loudly you shouted your faith, but how long you held on to it. They trace your perseverance like gold lines across the story of your life. Heaven's library is full of names written in light names of those who refuse to quit. Yours is among them. Blessed are those who keep walking. Blessed are those who press through tears. Blessed are those who remain faithful even when no miracle appears, because heaven measures not by outcome, but by obedience. You have become one of heaven's faithful ones, not because of perfection, but because of persistence. The apostle wrote of this in the letter of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life. That crown is not merely a future reward, it begins forming even now. Every test endured weaves its threads into the fabric of your crown. Each moment of quiet endurance polishes it with glory. You are being prepared for something eternal, something that can only be shaped through perseverance. And though the applause of heaven is hidden, it is not small. It resonates through the universe each time a chosen one endures. Angels who once watched the Son carry his cross now watch you carry yours. They remember that same strength flowing through you. When you walk through pain without surrendering to bitterness, heaven sees Christ within you. You might not realize it, but endurance is worship. It tells heaven, I still believe in your goodness. It tells the darkness, you cannot have me. And it tells your own soul, we are not finished yet. Chosen one. Your steps echo in eternity. You walk paths where unseen eyes watch with reverence. You are not a spectator in the story of faith. You are one of its authors, writing with your perseverance what generations after you will read in courage. When you keep going, even quietly, you shake spiritual realms. The enemy loses hope in your defeat. The forces of light gain ground. You may think you are just surviving, but heaven knows better. You are conquering. There are moments when you feel unseen, uncelebrated, unnoticed. But those are the moments when heaven claps the loudest. The angels do not applaud fame or success. They applaud surrender, humility, and persistence. You are seen every time you choose love over resentment, patience over frustration, hope over despair. And while the earth may not hear it, heaven does. The Creator himself smiles when you refuse to quit. You give him glory not through loud performance but through quiet faith. Every act of endurance paints the atmosphere with divine beauty. So keep going. Beloved chosen one, the noise of this world might drown out the sound of heaven's applause, but it continues nonetheless surrounding you, filling eternity with celebration. The day will come when that applause will no longer be hidden. You will hear it clearly, and you will understand that every tear, every step, every silent act of faith was worth it. Until that day, walk in quiet triumph. Let your endurance be your offering. Heaven already stands for you, chosen one. Sometimes you underestimate how much of heaven's work is done through your simple kindness. You think of miracles as parting seas and raising the dead, but every time you extend compassion, you are performing one. The person you encouraged today, the stranger you smiled at, the word of comfort you offered when you were tired yourself. Those are divine acts disguised as ordinary moments. Heaven does not always send angels in shining robes. Sometimes heaven sends you. When you chose to listen to someone who was breaking, you ministered healing. When you prayed for a friend in silence, you released light. When you resisted bitterness and offered grace instead, you became a vessel of mercy. The kingdom advanced quietly through your hands today. Do you realize what happened when you spoke that one kind word? The person who received it felt something shift inside, a soft reminder that God still sees them. Your compassion became a bridge between despair and hope. You didn't just speak, you mended something sacred. The truth is, you often minister without knowing it. Heaven uses you as a messenger clothed in humanity. Every small act of love becomes a sermon written not in ink, but in light. You have preached without a pulpit, healed without medicine, and built faith without recognition. Heaven sees all of it. According to the words of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That is exactly what you've done. Let light shine. It wasn't through perfection, but through love. Every time you served without seeking reward, your Father was glorified. The world saw goodness, but heaven saw obedience. You are heaven's reflection on earth. There are souls right now who are standing again because of your quiet faithfulness. You didn't know it, but your words gave them the strength to stay alive. You've been someone's answered prayer without even realizing it. That is how God works, through willing hearts, through simple gestures, through people who keep loving even when weary. Sometimes you think, "But I'm not strong enough to help anyone." Yet, strength was never the requirement. Willingness was. God doesn't ask you to shine perfectly, only to keep shining. Your light has already pierced more darkness than you know. Every time you choose compassion over cynicism, heaven rejoices. This world is desperate for real kindness. Every gentle word you speak becomes resistance against the cruelty that tries to harden hearts. You are proof that light still exists. You carry the fragrance of Christ wherever you go, in your patience, your forgiveness, your empathy. The enemy fears that light, because it reminds him of his defeat. Chosen one, never doubt that you are being used, even in the simplest moments. The Spirit moves through you like breath through lungs unseen, but life-giving. Every place you step becomes ground claimed for light. You do not need a stage to impact eternity. All you need is a heart that says yes. Perhaps you thought you were too ordinary to matter, but heaven disagrees. The Lord loves working through ordinary people, because then His glory shines clearer. When you smiled through pain, when you gave from your lack, when you comforted others while you yourself were hurting, that was divine power hidden in humility. You became heaven's echo, speaking hope into brokenness. And maybe you'll never see the full results of what you've done. But one day, when heaven reveals the tapestry of your life, you'll see how every act of kindness was a thread of light connecting one soul to another. You'll see that none of it was wasted. Every gesture carried eternal weight. So today, let gratitude rise within you. You are not just living, you are ministering. Your life itself has become a message that others read and find hope in. You've touched more hearts than you realize, changed more moments than you remember, reflected more of heaven than you imagine. Now, if these words resonate in your spirit, let your agreement echo in faith. Type light still wins. Below, let that be your declaration, your way of saying, I will continue to love, even when the world forgets. When you write those 3 words, you are not typing for recognition, you are prophesying truth into the atmosphere. You are declaring that darkness has not conquered you, that kindness remains your weapon, that heaven still moves through human hearts. Because yes, chosen one light still wins, and today, you proved it again. Chosen one. There are moments when you stare at your reflection and wonder if the person looking back is enough, if all the effort, all the praying, all the hoping has made any difference at all. Yet what you cannot see is that your reflection has changed. The weariness on your face hides a light that has grown stronger, deeper, more refined. Heaven looks at you and sees the reflection of the divine. the image of endurance and faith shining through the cracks of your humanity. There was a time when you questioned whether God truly saw you. But every time you turned your eyes upward in exhaustion, every time you whispered help with trembling lips, He was there, watching, listening, and strengthening. The tears that blurred your vision were not wasted. They were polishing the mirror of your soul so that you might reflect Him more clearly. You have been walking through a refining season, chosen one. You've been pressed, stretched, challenged in ways few can understand. But through it all, you have become radiant in spirit. The light that shines in your eyes is not the light of ease, it is the light of victory. It tells the story of a heart that has survived darkness and still dares to hope. The Apostle wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 18, "We all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed." You are being transformed not by comfort, but by communion. Every time you look toward heaven, you are changed a little more. The more you seek His presence, the more His presence begins to live through you. You may not notice it, but others do. They see the peace that surrounds you now, the strength that steadies your words, the love that flows from you even when you are tired. That is not coincidence, it is divine reflection. You are a mirror of heaven in motion. When you love, heaven loves through you. When you forgive, heaven speaks through you. When you endure, heaven testifies through you. Your very life has become evidence that grace can inhabit human flesh and still glow. Chosen one. This is why the world feels heavier sometimes. The brighter you shine, the more darkness notices. But remember, this light never fears exposure. It conquers it. You were never meant to hide your glow. You were meant to walk boldly, reflecting divine glory into spaces where hope has dimmed. You are a walking testimony that God still restores. And though you may feel small in this vast world, heaven sees your light as mighty. Your reflection has reached farther than you realize into hearts, homes, and lives of people you may never meet. There are souls right now who breathe easier because your faith exists. When you speak truth, when you post encouragement, when you share hope, you are not merely filling space, you are spreading light. That's what it means to live as one transformed. The more you share what heaven gives you, the stronger your reflection becomes. The mirror of your spirit doesn't dim when you give, it multiplies. So as you stand in front of that reflection today, don't turn away in doubt. Look closely. See what heaven sees: resilience, grace, forgiveness, endurance. See the image of God looking back at you through tired eyes that still believe. And as you walk in that awareness, know this: when you share what strengthens you, you strengthen the world around you. Someone out there is waiting for a word that only your journey can give. Someone is one moment away from giving up until your story reaches them. That's why this light must continue to spread. If this message has reminded you of who you are, let it also remind you of your mission. The simple act of liking or sharing is not about algorithms, it's about alignment. It's how light finds light. Each time you pass the message forward, you extend the reflection of heaven. And if you haven't yet, stay connected. Subscribe to the flow of these words that come not from chance, but from divine timing. This is how we grow together. How we remind one another that the reflection we carry is sacred. You are not just a listener, You are part of the movement of light. Every act of connection, every moment you choose to engage, tells heaven, I will not hide the glow. You are an ambassador of divine beauty in a weary world. So lift your eyes. Chosen one, you are seen. You are shining. And your reflection has become a window through which others will find God's face. Keep walking. Keep sharing. Keep radiating. Heaven rejoices each time your light touches another soul. Chosen one. The pages of heaven are not filled with numbers or possessions, but with stories, stories of endurance, of obedience, of small decisions that carried eternal weight. You may not see it, but your story is written there too, line by line, in ink that glows brighter than gold. Every act of faith you've ever made has been recorded. Every moment you resisted giving up became a verse in heaven's song of remembrance. There are angels whose sole purpose is to record faithfulness. They trace your life not by failures, but by moments of obedience. They note the prayers you whispered half asleep, the courage you found in weakness, the days you kept believing when evidence said otherwise. To heaven, these are not small things. They are treasures that time cannot erase. You might look at yourself and see someone still struggling, still waiting for a breakthrough, still imperfect. But heaven sees differently. Heaven reads your life through the lens of grace. Your story is not marked by how many times you fell, but by how many times you rose. Each return, each yes whispered in exhaustion, each refusal to quit, those are the golden lines angels have written about you. The divine record of obedience is not kept to judge you, but to honor you. God delights in remembering your faith. When others forget the quiet ways you have served, heaven replays them. Every selfless act has eternal echo. The vision of John in Revelation speaks of this honor. It was written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 21, to the one who is victorious. I will give the right to sit with me on my throne. Those words are not metaphor. They are promise. The one who watches your struggle plans to seat you beside him, not as a servant, but as a victor. Every battle you've endured is shaping you for that throne. Every moment of surrender is fitting you for a crown. Chosen one. You may not realize how much weight your yes carries. The world measures power by strength, but heaven measures it by surrender. Each time you say, not my will, but yours, heaven records it as triumph. You have been winning battles the world doesn't recognize. Think of the times you forgave instead of fought. When you stayed, when leaving felt easier. When you prayed again after silence. Those moments became golden ink on the scroll of eternity. You are writing a legacy of obedience that will outlast this life. You may feel unseen, but you are not forgotten. The divine scribe never misses a line. When you choose holiness in secret, heaven takes note. When you give without acknowledgement, heaven applauds. The applause may be silent for now, but it resounds through eternity. The record of your obedience is not just for heaven's archives, it is shaping your identity even now. Each act of surrender strengthens your authority. Each decision to obey adds weight to your words. Heaven trusts those who obey when no one is watching. You are being prepared for greater influence, for divine assignments that require proven hearts. Obedience refines the soul. It strips away pride, teaches patience, reveals purity. Every yes costs something, but nothing offered to God is ever lost. When you obey through pain, the offering becomes sacred. When you trust through confusion, the reward multiplies. There are moments heaven leans close just to listen to your prayer of obedience. When you say, "I'll follow you even here," angels bow in reverence, because such faith echoes the very heart of Christ. The Son obeyed unto death, and now his Spirit teaches you to obey unto life. You are walking a path worn by the faithful, the prophets, the disciples, the saints. They all left footprints for you to follow. Their stories, like yours, were marked by quiet obedience, and now you join their ranks. Heaven does not separate them from you, it celebrates you among them. Chosen one. Obedience is not about perfection, it is about alignment. When you obey, you align your will with heaven's rhythm. The world may not understand your choices, they may call them foolish or unnecessary, but heaven sees the strategy. Each obedient act builds spiritual architecture. You are constructing altars of remembrance in invisible realms. And when the day comes, when your journey reaches its appointed end, heaven will open the book. The lines of your obedience will glow with light. Every yes, every act of trust, every moment of endurance will sing. You will see that none of it was wasted. Every delay, every test, every unseen act of faith had meaning. Until then, remember this truth: your obedience is your offering, and your offering is eternal. You are not merely surviving, you are writing history. The ink of faith never fades, and your story will be told among the redeemed. Keep walking in obedience, even when it costs you comfort. Keep saying yes, even when it hurts. The record of heaven is not finished yet, and the next line awaits your courage. Chosen one. This morning was not ordinary. You may have seen sunlight spilling across the floor, maybe heard the soft hum of life waking outside, but what happened in heaven was far greater. The moment light touched your skin, the heavens took notice. Morning light rested on your shoulders as a divine reminder, favor is still upon you. The world turned again, and you rose with it. Chosen yet another day to carry the presence of God into time itself. The sun is more than warmth, it is symbolism. Its rise speaks of resurrection, of renewal, of relentless mercy. The same power that pulled light out of darkness is the power that called you into this day. You did not wake up by accident, you were summoned by grace. Heaven said, "Let there be light." And that light included you, even when you cannot feel it. Divine favor covers you. You are wrapped in unseen radiance. Every sunrise is heaven's whisper, "I am still with you." The light that touches your face carries the fingerprints of God, a daily covenant reminding you that you have not been forgotten. The psalmist once sang of this covering, and his words still breathe life today. It is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 84, verse 11, "For the Lord God is a sun and shield, the Lord bestows favor and honor." This is what the morning light is declaring, that your protection is sure, your purpose intact, your path already blessed. The same God who is your light is also your shield. That means every step you take today is guarded. Every direction you turn is seen. You are walking beneath divine radiance and divine protection at once. Chosen one. When you woke up this morning, heaven didn't just watch, it celebrated. The angels rejoiced that another warrior of light had risen. You may not feel strong, but your very presence terrifies darkness. The light within you disrupts the plans of despair. You are proof that grace wins every morning. Think about it. How many times did you think the night would be your end? Yet every dawn proves otherwise. Every morning, you defy the darkness that tried to silence you. You keep waking up. And with each awakening, you bring joy to God's heart again. You are a living sunrise, not because of perfection, but because of persistence. The light of favor does not depend on your mood or circumstance. It flows from identity. You were chosen to carry it. No failure can erase it. No mistake can unmark it. When God said, "Let there be light," He also meant, "Let there be you." You shine not because you try to, but because you were designed to. And today, that light is stronger than before. Each trial has polished your spirit. Each disappointment has deepened your glow. You carry the kind of radiance that only endurance can create, the kind that cannot be manufactured, only forged. Heaven calls that kind of light glory. So, when the sunlight touches your shoulders, remember what it means. It's not random, it's relational. It's heaven's hand resting gently on you, saying, "I am still your light. I am still your shield." This is why you survived every shadow. The enemy tried to blind you, but he couldn't. Because the light was not external, it was internal. Your hope is not borrowed from circumstance, it's anchored in the eternal. Even when clouds cover the sky, the light still exists above them, and so does your favor. Chosen one, today is a divine appointment. You have been trusted with another sunrise to bring heaven to earth through your words, your presence, your love. You do not merely wake up, you awaken the atmosphere. Where you go, peace follows. Where you speak, life blooms. You are not just seen by heaven, you are used by it. And because you are walking in favor, today will reveal things that were once hidden. Doors that seemed sealed will shift. Conversations you thought meaningless will become divine encounters. Do not rush this day. Move through it with awareness. The light on your shoulders is also the light guiding your steps. So, walk with confidence. Let your spirit align with heaven's rhythm. You have been anointed for today to carry compassion where there is cruelty, to bring clarity where there is confusion, to speak hope where silence has settled. The world will not understand your peace, but that peace will speak louder than explanation. And as you stand under the morning sky, let gratitude rise. Say within your heart, "I am covered," because you are not by luck, but by love. The same hand that paints the sunrise has painted favor across your life. The same voice that told the light to shine has told your soul, "Live again." If your heart recognizes this truth, let heaven hear your agreement. Comment 111 below a prophetic number that represents divine alignment and new beginnings. It is not a superstition. It is a symbol of unity between heaven's plan and your obedience. When you write that number, you are declaring, "I am in step with the light. I walk in favor. I am covered." Do it as an act of faith, a seal of agreement between your spirit and the one who chose you. Every sunrise is an invitation, and every declaration is a response. Today, heaven has smiled on you once more. You are seen, favored, and shielded. Walk in that light. Chosen one, it was made for you. Chosen one, There are few things that move heaven more deeply than the moment a human heart chooses to forgive. It is the act that mirrors God himself, the decision that shakes both the seen and unseen. When you forgave, heaven stood still. It was not weakness, it was divine strength cloaked in tenderness. You performed one of the greatest miracles possible, though no one around you may have noticed. Forgiveness is not natural to the wounded, it is supernatural. It is the language of heaven spoken through mortal lips. When you released what hurt you, you broke a spiritual chain that had been wrapped around your destiny. What once bound you to pain has become the very thing that reveals your strength. You may not have realized it, but that moment of forgiveness was warfare, and you won. The day you let go, angels rejoiced. Darkness lost claim to your heart. Bitterness had been waiting for you to drink from its cup, but you refused. Instead, you lifted your eyes toward heaven and said, "I will not carry this any longer." That sentence became a song in the spirit realm. It was freedom's anthem. Forgiveness does not erase what happened, it transforms it. It changes the role of pain in your story, no longer a chain, but a teacher. Every wound you forgave became wisdom. Every betrayal you released became beauty. The scars remain, but now they glow with redemption. They are evidence of battles fought and mercy chosen. We are reminded through the Apostles' words in the letter to the Colossians, chapter 3, verse 13, "Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone." That verse is more than instruction, it is identity. Forgiveness is the family trait of the divine. It is how heaven's children resemble their Father. To forgive is to reveal whose image you truly carry. Chosen one. What you did was sacred. You took pain that was meant to poison you and turned it into intercession. You took memories that burned and transformed them into prayers for those who hurt you. That is not human strength, that is divine power living inside you. The ability to forgive is not something you created, it is something heaven placed in you long before the wound arrived. Forgiveness rewires the spirit. It makes space for peace to return, for light to dwell where resentment once lived. When you forgave, you made room for miracles. Blessings cannot rest where bitterness grows, but now that you have released it, heaven can pour again. The flow has returned. The one you forgave may never know the cost of that mercy, and they may never ask for it, but you did not do it for them. You did it for freedom. You did it because your heart refused to stay chained to pain. You did it because you understood that your destiny was too great to be delayed by hatred. And here is what you must know. Heaven took note. The record of your forgiveness was written beside your name. That one act of mercy carried more spiritual weight than 1,000 words of worship. Heaven measures forgiveness as one of the highest forms of faith because it requires trust that justice belongs to God, not to you. There are many who speak of faith, but few who demonstrate it through forgiveness. When you chose to release what hurt you, you declared to heaven and hell alike that God is still worthy of your trust. You believed that He could redeem what they ruined. You placed your heart back into His hands, and He received it with joy. You may have felt alone in that decision, but you were surrounded. Angels leaned close. The Spirit whispered comfort, and the heart of God swelled with pride. In that moment, you were most like Him, extending mercy even when it wasn't deserved. That is the essence of divine nature. Forgiveness will always feel like loss before it feels like freedom. The flesh will protest. The mind will replay what happened, but heaven keeps whispering, let it go. Not because they deserve peace, but because you do. When you release it, you create space for joy to breathe again. Chosen one, forgiveness does not mean reconciliation with those who remain unsafe. It means releasing them from the power to poison your soul. It means choosing healing over vengeance, peace over control, destiny over delay. You did not lose anything by forgiving, you gained everything. You stepped into maturity, into spiritual royalty. The freedom you now carry will begin to show in your voice, in your smile, in your prayers. The same lips that once spoke pain will now speak promise. You will bless where you once bled. The energy once drained by resentment will now be used to build. And though the world may never recognize the miracle you performed, heaven already has. There is more joy in heaven over one heart that chooses mercy than over 1,000 that demand justice. You have joined heaven's rhythm, moved in its melody. So now, walk lightly. Chosen one, you are no longer bound to the past. The weight that clung to you has been lifted. You are free, truly free. Your forgiveness has opened gates that were long closed, and your future now waits with open arms. Carry peace as your proof. Speak grace as your testimony. Let your life itself declare love is stronger than pain, and mercy is the loudest victory. Chosen one, there is a sound that rises from your soul each morning, not the sound of words, but the vibration of gratitude. Heaven hears it even when you do not speak it aloud. Every whisper of thank you, every quiet acknowledgement of grace, every small smile offered in the midst of exhaustion, they rise like incense before the throne. Gratitude is the fragrance of heaven's dwelling, and your spirit has learned to carry it. The world rushes. People chase what they do not yet have, measuring joy by acquisition. But you have learned a secret joy lives not in the abundance of things, but in the awareness of presence. When you thank God for what you already hold, you multiply it. Gratitude opens the door for heaven to pour more, not because you demand it, but because you honor what is already given. Your gratitude this morning reached heaven as a melody. It didn't need instruments, rhythm, or rhyme. It was simply your heart choosing to remember. Gratitude is remembrance, a sacred act of looking back to say, you were faithful. When you practice it, you align yourself with truth. God has never failed you. Even when the outcome was different than what you prayed for, His hand was still guiding. Scripture says in the first letter to the Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Notice that it says in all circumstances, not for all circumstances. God never demands that you celebrate pain, but He invites you to find Him inside it. Gratitude is not denial, it is divine perspective. It sees beyond the wound and recognizes the wisdom. It looks at broken pieces and says, even here, you are good, chosen one. When you whisper thank you in hardship, you are doing more than expressing manners, you are activating miracles. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere. It silences the accuser and summons peace. The enemy cannot linger where gratitude dwells, because gratitude invites presence, and where presence is, darkness flees. This morning, when you exhaled and noticed the light creeping through your window, heaven smiled. That awareness, that pause of appreciation, was a form of worship. Every breath you acknowledge as gift becomes holy. The simple act of thanking turns ordinary air into prayer. You have been through seasons when gratitude felt impossible, when loss clouded your vision, when grief dulled your heart. And yet, even then, somewhere within you, a small voice still said, "Thank you." That voice is the resilient flame of faith. It refuses to die because it knows who holds the match. The truth is, gratitude does not come naturally in suffering. It must be chosen. And every time you choose it, you grow in strength. It rewires your focus from what is missing to what remains. It reveals that you are not empty. You are sustained. Even in pain, you are being carried. The angels marvel when humans give thanks from the middle of the storm. They understand worship in heaven. But gratitude in hardship, that is something they can only witness through you. It is your unique offering, one that only earth-born souls can give. It's the sound of faith in its purest form, praising before the promise. Chosen one, you have turned gratitude into a lifestyle. It's woven into your words, your walk, your waiting. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. That's why heaven continues to favor you. A thankful heart attracts grace, not because it manipulates heaven, but because it harmonizes with it. Gratitude is heaven's native tongue, and you are learning to speak it fluently. There are days when you may feel overlooked, but heaven never misses a grateful soul. God notices the ones who say thank you before the miracle and after it. You have been one of those souls, faithful in little, thankful in much, steadfast in all. Every thank you you whisper builds an altar, not made of stone, but of memory. Each one marks a place where God met you, where grace touched you, where mercy showed up just in time. One day, you will look back and see those altars shining along your journey, proof that you were never abandoned. Gratitude transforms perception. It doesn't change what happened, but it changes what you see. You begin to notice the beauty hidden inside the breaking, the growth hidden inside the waiting. You realize that even the detours were directions in disguise. Gratitude clears your vision so you can recognize blessings that were always there. And as you move forward, let that thankfulness continue to flow. Let it be the rhythm of your steps, the echo of your prayers, the breath behind your laughter. Gratitude does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means seeing perfection within everything that is. Today, heaven listens again for that sound, the melody of your gratitude. The same God who receives thunderous praise from angels leans closer when you whisper thank you through tears. That sound, chosen one, moves him deeply. It is the music of trust, chosen one. So many have tried to convince you that your worth depends on what you've done on performance, perfection, or public approval. But heaven has always seen you differently. You are not defined by guilt, failure, or what others said you would never overcome. You are marked by glory. You carry redemption in your very being. You are the proof that grace works. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the story of mercy that refused to let go of you. Every time you fell and rose again, heaven recorded victory, not shame. Every time you repented, light replaced darkness. You are not a disappointment, you are a miracle in progress. There is a line written in the sacred text that confirms your identity in the book of Romans. Chapter 8, verse 1. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. These words are your liberation decree. Condemnation was the old language of your life. But heaven has rewritten your vocabulary. Now you speak in grace, move in freedom, and live under favor. You are not the person the past remembers. You are the one the future celebrates. Every scar on your heart tells a story not of failure, but of resurrection. Every regret has been transformed into revelation. The guilt that once weighed you down has been exchanged for glory. You wear forgiveness like armor now, and nothing can penetrate it. Chosen one. Do you realize how much power there is in simply accepting that you are forgiven? Heaven has already called you clean, but it waits for you to walk like it. Shame can only survive where grace is forgotten. When you remember who you are chosen, redeemed, restored, shame loses its breath. You've been through seasons that left marks, but those marks now shine. They are not evidence of where you broke. They are evidence of where you healed. You have become a living testimony, a vessel that carries light through the cracks. That is why your story still holds power, because it reveals what God can do with the broken and willing. You no longer need to earn love. You are love's dwelling place. You no longer need to prove yourself. Heaven has already approved you. The same hands that shaped the stars shaped your soul with intention. You are not here by chance. You are here on purpose. And that purpose is unfolding beautifully. Every step you take toward grace is a declaration of victory over guilt. You are walking proof that redemption is not a theory, it's a reality. You have been marked by glory, sealed by mercy, and anointed for this exact moment in time. So let go of the voice that says you're still defined by your worst days. That voice belongs to the past, and the past no longer has authority here. The voice that matters now is the one that calls you beloved. You have been chosen not in spite of your story, but because of it. God saw the chapters you would regret, and still He chose to write you into His masterpiece. Chosen one. Your healing is not only for you, it is for those who will one day read your life and find courage in it. There are people waiting to believe again, and they will because of your story. That's why the enemy fought your confidence so fiercely. If he could convince you to live ashamed, he could keep your light hidden. But shame has lost its grip, and your glory is beginning to rise. You are walking into a new level of clarity, where you no longer apologize for existing, where you no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You are divine evidence that grace does not just cover it, transforms. You are a masterpiece still unfolding, a redeemed one wearing light as testimony. If these words resonate in your heart, take a moment, pause, and breathe. Feel the truth settle in your spirit. You are not condemned, you are crowned. Heaven smiles over you even now. And if this message has reminded you of who you truly are, consider letting it reach others who need the same reminder. When you like this message, you affirm that grace still speaks louder than guilt. When you share it, you become part of heaven's echo, sending light into timelines where someone else is still trapped in shame. And if you subscribe to remain connected, it isn't about numbers, it's about nourishment. You are staying within a stream of reminders that speak life, that rebuild faith, that keep your spirit aligned with heaven's rhythm. This space is for the chosen ones, those who carry scars and still shine. Before you scroll away, leave a reflection in the comments, your own sentence of gratitude or truth. Speak it in your words. You might write something simple, like, "I am free," or "Grace found me." But whatever you write, let it come from the heart, because every time you testify, you reinforce the victory already written in your name. Chosen one, there was a moment, quiet and unseen, when heaven mirrored your smile. It was not grand or dramatic, it was simple, but sacred. You smiled again, after all the storms, after all the nights of holding back tears. That moment carried more weight in heaven than you can imagine. Joy returned, and with it, heaven rejoiced. You may think joy is fragile, but in truth, it is one of the strongest forces in the universe. It does not depend on circumstance, it flows from connection. It is the evidence that despite everything you've walked through, light still lives inside you. The smile that appeared on your face was not accidental, it was prophetic. It said to every shadow, "You did not win." There was a time when laughter felt far away. The world around you dimmed, and even the smallest joys felt unreachable. Yet somewhere deep within, something, or rather, someone refused to let go of you. Grace stayed. It waited. It whispered until the corners of your mouth lifted again. That was not coincidence, that was covenant. When you smiled again, heaven saw the restoration of what was stolen. That small moment of lightness signaled the victory of life over despair. It told heaven and earth alike that the heart God designed in you still beats in rhythm with His. The angels who once wept with you now dance in the echo of that smile. There is power in holy joy, the kind that exists not because life is easy, but because love is eternal. This joy is not loud, not always laughter, but it is deep, steady, and healing. It softens what pain hardened. It rebuilds what fear fractured. It brings warmth to places the cold thought it owned. The ancient scribe, Nehemiah, once wrote words that carry through the ages. It is written in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, verse 10. "The joy of the Lord is your strength." That truth remains unshaken. Strength is not found in pride or defiance, it is found in joy. The kind of joy that rises from gratitude, from trust, from knowing that no matter what happens, God is still faithful. It is the kind of strength that cannot be stolen because it does not depend on what you have lost. Chosen one. This joy is divine armor. The enemy knows it, which is why he tried to steal it first. He hoped that by silencing your laughter, he could mute your light. But joy is not laughter alone, it is a posture of faith. It is the certainty that God is still good, even when life isn't. It is the unshakable calm that says, "I have seen darkness, and yet I still believe in light." The smile you wear today carries history. It was bought by tears, watered by prayer, and restored by mercy. It carries both softness and power, softness to love again, power to rise again. Each time you smile in faith, heaven mirrors it, and strength flows back into your spirit. Do not underestimate the healing that radiates from you now. Your joy is contagious in the spirit. It reaches places you'll never see. Someone you meet today may rediscover hope simply by seeing the peace in your eyes. Your presence itself becomes a silent sermon, a message that says, God restores. This is what joy does. It multiplies itself. It cannot remain contained in one heart. When you carry true joy, it spills into every conversation, every room, every small act of kindness. You become a living echo of heaven's happiness. The same joy that filled the tomb when Christ rose now flows through you. And even when life shifts, when challenges return, remember, this joy is not lost when circumstances change. It lives deeper than that. It may go quiet for a season, but it never dies. It waits patiently beneath the surface, ready to rise again the moment you remember who you are. Chosen one. Your smile is more than expression, it is evidence. It proves that brokenness can bloom, that ashes can glow, that sorrow can end in song. The joy of the Lord is not a fleeting mood, it is your foundation. The storms will come again, but now you know how to stand. You have become stronger than you realize. Not because life has been easy, but because joy has rooted itself inside you. It has learned how to live in the tension between pain and promise. That is divine maturity, the ability to weep and still hope, to ache and still love, to suffer and still shine. Heaven is proud of you. Chosen one. Every time you smile through what once made you cry, heaven mirrors it back. It is a sacred exchange between Creator and creation, your resilience for His delight, your endurance for His glory. So, walk in that strength today. Let your joy speak louder than explanation. You have nothing left to prove, only light left to give. And when your laughter returns again, know that heaven laughs with you. Chosen one. As the sun set and rose again, heaven already walked ahead of you. The day you are stepping into was prepared before you opened your eyes. Nothing about this morning is random. Every moment has been woven by divine hands. Your tomorrow has already been blessed. The plans written over your life are unfolding, even when you cannot see the pattern. Heaven's design is rarely loud. It moves like sunrise, quiet yet unstoppable. God has gone before you. Every path you will take, every conversation you will have, every decision you will face, He has already been there. You walk not into uncertainty, but into territory that grace has already touched. Even the detours have meaning, even the delays have direction. Heaven is never late. You are moving at the pace of divine preparation. Your story is not waiting to begin, it is already in motion. The same God who guided Abraham through wilderness, who led Esther into royal purpose, who carried Daniel through the lions, that same faithful one is guiding you. The journey you fear has already been walked by grace ahead of you. You are simply following the footprints of favor. We are reminded through the psalmist's words in Psalm 23, verse 6, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." That surely is a promise, not a possibility. Goodness and mercy are not visitors in your life, they are permanent companions. They follow you, surround you, and clear the road before you. You may not always see them, but they are never absent. Every step you take is shadowed by grace. Chosen one. This morning's favor is not just for comfort, it's for confirmation. Heaven is affirming what you already know. Deep inside, you are not forgotten, and your future is secure. What lies ahead is not random, but orchestrated with precision. Even what feels like delay is divine timing working its perfection. Sometimes, the path you walk may twist through uncertainty. You may ask, where is this leading? Yet even when the way seems hidden, the destination remains sure. Heaven never misplaces its chosen ones. Every road, every encounter, every pause is part of a larger symphony that only eternity hears in full. Look around you today. The small signs of favor are everywhere. The conversation that encourages you, the unexpected peace in chaos, the strength you didn't know you had. These are heaven's whispers, reminders that you are walking under promise. Each moment testifies that you are still on track. Even when the scenery changes, you've come through seasons that tried to convince you otherwise, times when you thought the path had ended, when you wondered if God had gone silent. But silence is not absence. It's strategy. Heaven often hides its work so that faith can grow roots. The unseen preparation is just as holy as the visible miracle. And the miracle, chosen one, is closer than you think. What you have prayed for has not been ignored. It's been prepared. God is not withholding, He's aligning. When the right moment arrives, the door will not open halfway, it will swing wide, and you will understand why it had to be this timing. Every prayer has been planted. Every tear watered the soil. And now heaven waits for the exact dawn to reveal the bloom. You are not behind schedule. You are right where grace intended you to be. The joy that visited God's heart this morning because of your faith will return to you in waves of fulfillment. Chosen one, your tomorrow is not a gamble, it's a guarantee written in light. Heaven's promises are not fragile, they are anchored in eternity. You may not know the route, but you know the guide, and that is enough. Walk forward today with calm authority. You have been equipped for every challenge that awaits. Even the things that surprise you have already been accounted for in heaven's plan. God's foresight is your protection. His preparation is your peace. There will come a day soon when you'll look back and say, "Now I see." You'll understand how every closed door protected you, how every delay prepared you, how every pain birthed wisdom. What felt like loss was simply divine rearranging. Heaven never subtracts without planning a multiplication. So do not fear the unknown. You are stepping into territory where favor has already gone first. The same presence that began this story will finish it beautifully. Your steps are ordered. Your future is guarded. Your promise is alive. And this morning, as heaven watched you breathe, the Father smiled again. You brought joy to His heart just by existing, by believing, by choosing to rise once more. The day you walk into has been kissed by that smile. Go forward, chosen one, not with haste, but with holy confidence. For the one who saw you yesterday walks beside you today and has already prepared your tomorrow. Chosen one, as this final word settles into your spirit, remember this truth. Your tomorrow is already blessed. The same God who smiled over you this morning has already walked ahead of you. Every path you will step on has been cleared by His hand. The joy you brought to His heart today will return to you as peace, favor, and divine opportunity. You have not been overlooked, you have been prepared. Every sunrise that finds you is heaven's reminder that the story is still unfolding. The same light that touched your face this morning will guide your next steps. God has gone before you, and His goodness is waiting there. You don't have to chase it, you only have to walk in it. You are not who you were when you began this journey. The tears, the endurance, the forgiveness, the gratitude, they have refined you into someone heaven can trust with greater things. You have become proof that faith survives the storm and that love still wins in the end. Chosen one, if this message has stirred something in you, hope, peace, or the courage to keep going, let that feeling be your offering back to heaven. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. And whisper a quiet thank you. Then, if you feel led, help this light travel farther. Like this message as a small act of agreement with heaven's word over your life. Share it with someone who may need to remember that they are seen. Comment what truth has touched you most. Your words might be the encouragement another soul has been praying for. And if you have not yet, subscribe so these messages continue to meet you in perfect timing, reminding you who you are, God's chosen one. Heaven has seen you, blessed you, and will not stop now. Walk into your tomorrow knowing this: the story ends in light.